Hey guys, and welcome back to another podcast episode. If you've noticed, I have no background music or there was no intro. It's because my existing or my current audio computer program where I used to record my podcasts have been giving me issues and I don't know how to, change the settings. Basically, it makes whenever I record, it makes my voice manly or it seems like a man is talking instead of me. And I don't know what I did to the settings that made me sound like a man. So I decided to directly record my podcast episode in my home podcast platform. So I guess this is going to be another unedited and raw episode. So for this one, I realized I haven't been posting or recording about my mental health. And I just wanted to talk about healing. It's not that I am good or I am much experienced when it comes to talking about healing, but I have been repetitively undergoing numerous healing moments. You get me? So I guess I lost count on the number of times I kept on going through healing. I've been healing, I think, over and over again. It's not a one time thing. And I do understand that healing takes a lot of steps. It would take a lot of tears. And sometimes healing needs to happen in a different understanding. Maybe you'll feel that the first time that you experienced healing had a different effect on you compared to the healing that you're going through right now. So it would depend on a lot of different factors per se. So when it comes to my anxiety, it always comes and goes. Sometimes I just feel scared of how often it takes over my physical body. I can say that I can control how my body reacts to it, and just some time ago I started getting anxious again. My body would get numb, sometimes there would be chest pain, and it's weird that sometimes I would also feel nothing at all, and then in a matter of seconds, I would feel panic. I think people may perceive this as a suffering, but for me, it's a suffering, yes, but it has become my norm. And I'm not claiming these things like I want all of it. I want this happening, but I just can't control when it happens or how it starts. And of course, when we get worried or when we have anxious thoughts, that's already expected of us because we're human and we are in this global pandemic. Everybody is experiencing something negative, and because we perceive the future to be uncertain, it makes us anxious of the future. It makes us worry about what the future might bring or how are we going to be how are we going to be dealing a lot of problems or upcoming uncertainties. So I know everybody undergoes anxiety. It would just depend on the severity, and sometimes there would be extreme emotions that comes with it. Yeah, if whenever it happens, I just can't control it, and sometimes I don't even know when it would happen when it starts. And all I can do is to constantly fight it and, of course, to talk to God about it. Because sometimes I'm conscious to talking about this with my friends, especially with my family. And there is no perfect being to talk to about this than God. No other person can understand what I'm going through, and that is why I make it a priority to run to God first. He is my only source of healing, and I know there is always going to be a supernatural purpose behind all of that. And because of my previous experiences, God allowed me to have this deeper awareness of how beautiful and painful healing process can be. it can be both beautiful and painful at the same time. So I'm not against this. I'm not against people who always go back to square one every time they stumble, because it's always going to be the same way with me. I truly understand how healing works because our walk in life is not straight. It's linear. We may fall, but we still rise up and move up. And our path in life is continuously moving forward and upward. We are not, unless you don't care and you're moving forward and downward, but every one of us is moving forward. So, the presence of generational curses and traumas have been carried out, but I no longer carry them because I already surrendered them to God. But it doesn't mean that I still don't have memories of them. It still stings and it still breaks me at times, and I get disappointed with myself for falling into memories. And memories have this great power over us, because it can be a trigger for us. Memories can bring us extreme emotions, like it can have this extreme happiness, or it can remind us with this extreme pain or with this extreme sadness. So it's not actually 100% our fault, but with me, sometimes I blame myself for not being strong enough, and I place blame on myself for being weak. But I was reminded by a recent post that I saw online where it says, "Weary doesn't mean that you're weak." Whenever we feel weary, God just signals to us that it's time for us to rest and to have some solitude. I'm reminded that vulnerability is actually equal to strength. Deep inside me, all I know is that I need Jesus. There is no one to blame but sin, you know, the presence of sin in our lives. And it can't go away if we don't acknowledge it first. I just need to get rid of all of those long held traumas and broken pieces to make my walk lighter. We can't, you know, move forward if we are still carrying a lot of the weight of the past. And I know that I alone can't bind my own wounds, and my wholeness can only be attained with the presence of God. That's why I make it a point to really put God in the center of everything. Wholeness and completeness can only be experienced once we put away all the unnecessary baggage and insignificant gods in our hearts. What I go through is tiring, but I'm not giving up. I may rest because I'm tired, but I will keep on fighting. All the broken pieces taught me how to be on my own and heal on my own pace. I'm thankful to God for having these broken pieces, because by having them, I get to experience brokenness, and it's what led me to discover how strong I really am. I found that whenever I open up, get vulnerable and just write away my thoughts on all the struggles I experience, it helps me to express more. It helps me to process it. It helps me to put out the words that I can't even speak to others face to face. And journaling actually helped me to process all the emotions and negativity circling in my mind. So I just want to end this with a Bible verse that keeps on reminding me about placing God first in my life, and that I needed to pray about the removing of idols that have replaced God in my life, because it is the one that destroys my relationship with God. This Bible verse comes from Mark 12 verse 30, where it says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength." So, just wanted to encourage you or everyone who is under the process of healing. Going through repetitions of healing is normal, and we shall not place blame on ourselves, but continue seeking God and praying to Him. Let's try to deepen our relationship with Him. Everything in this world will fail us, but I know God won't. There is no pressure and there is no deadline with Him. So flow through life, and one day we shall overcome this. So, whoever you are, if you're struggling, know that I'm here for you. You're free to message me if you want to talk about it, or if you're just looking for a friend to talk to, I'm here. This is what my podcast is about, trying to build and cultivate friendships even if it's virtual. So yeah, that's it. That's just my thoughts regarding healing through repetitions. So I hope this podcast episode encouraged you, inspired you, and I hope to see you again in the next podcast episode. Bye.